Welcome to this episode of Hello Barnet. We have a really exciting show in store for you. We are joined by Wendy Kravitz. She is the Director and Chair of the North London Aquatic Centre. She's about to raise £3 million. You're going to want to hear about this. We also have Adonica Simmons of Global Style Services chatting us through autumn-winter styling. I'm here with Wendy Kravitz, no relation that we know of to the singer, who is the Director and Chair of the North London Aquatic Centre. Wendy's in the process right now of raising £3 million to develop the North London Aquatic Centre, but I'd like to actually go back. Could you sort of set the scene, tell us a little bit about the history? What is the North London Aquatic Centre?
So back in 2016, we ran a campaign for 6 months to save the only deep water pool in Barnet with a movable floor, because it's the only one between Stratford in East London and Luton.
So without the development that you're currently fundraising for, residents would have to go as far as Stratford or Luton to go to a deep water pool?
Yes. And we ran a successful campaign back in 2016, and we were awarded a piece of land and £500,000 to start our fundraising. So we took that opportunity back in 2017 and created a company and a charity and began our own fundraising. So the children ran a triathlon. They ran, cycled and dived down at Saracens at Allianz Park. And started our fundraising off in a really lovely kind of local way. Since then, we've been planning our crowdfunding campaign with an aim to raise our phase one first part of our budget, which is £98,000. What that will do is put all the plans in place to be able to build the centre. So we will then, once we've got all those plans in place, we'll be applying for major capital grant applications.
How come you opted for a crowdfunding model as opposed to perhaps like a more traditional fundraising?
So this has always been about the community, about the loss of a community asset and getting people together to click for a brick, if you like, so that everybody is part of this centre. And in that thought process, you know, not only will it be built and be donated back to the community, we're looking at creating jobs and being able to target some of those really hard to reach groups in Barnet that might not have had access to something like this before. So it really is about joining up all the dots with local community groups, charities, like we said, schools, etc. So it's a real community project.
So you mentioned the community quite a lot and the sort of brick by brick of everyone partaking, but what about you? What's sort of your personal connection and why are you passionate about this project?
So my children take part in deep water sport, but I think even more than that, I'm more passionate about protecting grassroots sport, particularly in North London. If you look at the legacy of the Olympics, the excitement around that time, I just feel that in this day and age, we should be really providing more activities for everybody rather than taking them away. So when I decided that I was going to take this on fairly seriously, I made a decision that if I was going to give 3, 4, 5 years of my life, I want to make it the very, very best it can be. And I want to make it as accessible for everybody in North London in Barnet and North London as we possibly can.
And I believe I read that sort of 2,000 to 3,000 people will be perhaps attending and using this pool per week. So sort of what will that mean for the local community?
Yeah, so that's our bare minimum objective when we first opened. So we're looking at putting on 50 aquatic activities every single week from prenatal right up to age 108. The floor will be movable, so that means that we can put in any aquatic therapy, sport, things like aqua drumming, as well as some more exciting sports like underwater rugby, underwater hockey. So pretty much something for absolutely everyone.
And I believe you are applying to some funding from the Mayor of London's office. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, so again, we're in the middle of a crowdfunding project. We're running that alongside Space Hive, who are Barnet's crowdfunding partners. As part of this process, we apply to the Mayor to make a pledge, and the Mayor pledges up to 50,000 for projects that match their objectives, basically.
And what are the Mayor's objectives? What are the type of things that have been funded in the past?
So community projects, projects that are able to hit some of those areas, such as including communities in jobs, getting more active, mental health, all of the hot topics, if you like, around health and fitness at the moment and in the future.
And most important, what can people do? How can Barnet residents get involved? What do you need?
So what we need the most right now is for Barnet residents to go on the Space Hive page, which is just North London Aquatics, and leave us a comment about what this project might mean to them and their families and future generations, and also to gain their ideas about what they might like to see as part of what we're developing. As an addition to that, we're asking for a £2 pledge. The pledges don't leave the person until we hit the 98,000 total. So it's kind of a no risk pledge. And then we're also asking if you can buy a brick. A brick is £5. And that's really it. If you want to know more about our story, you can go to our social media channels. So we are on Facebook as Save Diving LDN. We're on Twitter as Save_Diving LDN. And we're on Instagram as North London Aquatics. So we'd love to see you there, and we can tell you much more about what's going on.
Fantastic. Well, Wendy, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you.
Thank you for speaking with us. I think this sounds like an incredibly worthwhile project for the community, and we really look forward to seeing how it develops.
Thank you very much.
I've got my coat on, Adonik is here. It is so great to see you.
Lovely to see you, Bridget. Thank you so much for having me. So we've come to the end of the UK summer. It's colder, it's wetter, it's greyer. But do not fear, because the UK retailers really come into their own fashion-wise. This is why this month I want to show you coats from George at Asda. So George is a really well-known brand, always delivers great quality and style. What I like about it is the feminine shape that it gives on the sides, if you can see there. It's got really cool pockets that you can keep your phones in, your purse in, and everything else. And then when it rains, as it always does, an amazing, really sexy furry hood. I mean, who doesn't want to look this winter sexy in 2018?
It's a very cozy hood, but you know what? I would never normally pick this color, this kind of like mustardy yellow.
No, it really suits you. Honestly, these autumnal colours really would work well on you. But this range comes in red, blue, black, grey and the silver, and magnificently comes in a size 8 to a 24. All for £30, Bridget. This is my top styling tip for November 2018.
Well, thanks so much, Adonika. I think that is a really fantastic styling tip. You really can't do better. I love it.
Love it.
Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Hello Barnet. You know what to do. Follow us on social media, subscribe to us on YouTube, and check out our website. You can see everything that we've been up to. See you next time.